both to the colon and to the stomach. Okay. So here we go. We're now in the abdominal cavity, and you can see what we can see. Now, I've showed some people this, but let me go over it with you since everyone's here. So here's the bladder. Okay. On either side of the bladder, there are two vessels that are constricting down and becoming fibrous. Okay. Those are both, since they're coming from the heart of the calf out to the placenta, those are both umbilical arteries. I think I got it right this time. They go out through the umbilicus, and then you get refreshed at the placenta, and then there's a single umbilical vein that comes back. That umbilical vein is going to go between the lobes of the liver, and it should constrict down and become something called the round ligament of the liver and kind of attach that liver to the ventral surface of the stomach, of the abdomen. Okie doke. So this guy, you can't see it now because I've opened up the abdomen, but there was an abdominal umbilical hernia. Okay? So there was quite a large space here around the remnant of the umbilicus. So that's another problem this guy had.
She just wasn't gonna make it very
And
good.
they just had a lot of issues. Okay, at the anterior portion of the abdominal cavity, you can see the diaphragm, the major respiratory muscle, and you can see the central tendon. Okay. And when they inhale, that whole diaphragm flattens, and it enlarges the chest cavity and essentially creates a vacuum. Then on exhalation, it just relaxes and domes up again. So contraction of the diaphragm lengthens the chest cavity, creates a vacuum, air is inhaled. Relaxation, the diaphragm domes up, the cavity gets smaller, pressure is greater in the chest, so air goes out. Okay. So it's all pressure differences. Okay. So the other thing you'll notice is we've got this fine liver here. And it is a huge organ. I haven't even gotten all the way around this side.
Is it supposed to be that big?
It's pretty big.
It does a lot of work.
Yeah, it does a lot of work. I feel like this one is a little bit swollen, and I'll tell you why in a moment. The edges of the liver should be as sharp as a knife. These are rounded. So that's kind of abnormal. Then here we have, and you all will know what this is, the gallbladder. Okay, and it's quite full. Remember, we've got an immature animal here. So, before we get into gut puddling, let's look at this other structure. What do you think this gray-looking organ is over on the left-hand side? Not yet. This is still a monogastric animal. Rumen's not quite developed yet. Spleen. Spleen, okay. All righty. Why don't you say that? All righty. Now, things are going to not look quite right, again, because this is a ruminant. And the only way I know to try to figure out what's what is to start pulling things out. So this looks like it might be part of the colon. I'm going to, oh, it's a cecum. Why do I know that? See that blind sac?
Steph, look what he saw coming from him.
That's a sound coming from him here. All righty. So, the only way to figure out what's what, and this guy, for me anyway, is to do what's called running the gut. It's literally, it's just that. And what you'll notice, since this is going to be, at some point, this is going to be an herbivore, there is a lot of gut. And that's just the way it is. Okay. Now, I've found something over here on the left side. So, what might you find on the left side of a ruminant? The ruin. There you go.
Okay, I knew that too. but
Trick question.
I know. I was like, well,
Okay.
the